Hi everyone, this is Jane at Velocity Vet 08 on behalf of Wild Orchid Crafts, the Wild Bunch, and I have a great project that I want to show you today. So I'm going to flip from here to that and I'll be right back. Well, hey everyone, I have my project here to show you and I'm really excited about it. I got my inspiration for this project off of Pinterest. There is, I cannot tell you how many versions of mason jars done with similar techniques, and I did a lot of looking and kind of browsing around at what was out there and just decided I was going to kind of come up with my own thing. Using the materials that I had and so forth. So there is going to be a start to finish on how I did this. So I'm not going to go into a ton of detail here, but I'll explain a few things that I think are kind of important. Obviously you can see these are done with mason jars. And what I used was chalk paint. It's chalk acrylic paint, not like chalkboard paint. It's the kind I use is made by Paper Artsy, and it's fresco finish chalk acrylic. And oh, one thing I do want to apologize, you guys, if the colors kind of come and washed out on this, I did want you to know I actually have ordered a new camcorder. Should be here in a few days, but I've noticed my videos are not as bright color as the projects themselves. So anyway, apologize for that. I wanted to mention that real quick. This is the color I used on the inside of the jar, of the mason jar, was Snowflake. And I first actually gessoed them entirely, and I'll tell you why I did that here in just a second. I used Snowflake on the inside, and then on the outside of this blue one, I used a color called Mermaid, in case you want to go looking for these. I've seen them on Simon Says Stamp and Etsy. And then this one that's down here on the end that looks kind of purple, that one is called Dolly Mix, and it comes in a set of 4. You can't buy it by itself. At least I haven't found it by itself. And then this middle one, I used a color called Vintage Lace, and it was a little washed out, kind of it's just a really pale color, not a lot of pink to it. You can kind of see what it looks like there. And so I decided to just kind of add a little bit of pink. So every time I used it, I used a little of this paint right here, just regular acrylic, and it's just called Touch of Pink. It just added just a little bit to it, but not a lot. I have since learned that you can make good chalk acrylics by using your acrylic paint and cornstarch and water. And I just happened to find, if you do a search for that, there's a recipe out there. And you'll find it. I don't have it offhand, but it is out there if you Google it. And the chalk paint, the difference is it just gives you this real matte, kind of shabby finish. I love the finish that it gives. It's super cool. So the reason I wanted to gesso them first was after I had painted them all, I sanded them with sandpaper, and in some places the white is showing through, and some places I sanded all the way through to the glass, which, you know, was my goal, to get that just kind of varied shabby look. And I, you know, same thing with the keys, and there's also some metal filigrees behind each of these big open roses. So that's why I did that, and like I said, I like the way it looks, and you'll see that on the video. Basically, the products that I used from Wild Orchid Crafts, I put feet on all of these, and by doing that I used the 16 millimeter flat back pearls. I am in love with these. I got sent a package by accident. You can see that it says Blue Lilies. And it was the best accident that could have ever happened to me, because I'm not sure I would have tried these 16 millimeter size flatbacks, because I would have thought, I don't know what I'll do with them. I don't know what I would do without them. I have used these to death. You get 40, and you can tell there clearly is not 40 left in here. I have been going through them. Actually, that's for the lilies. You get 50. So you can tell there's not 50 left. I have been using them like crazy. And I had just, after I found out how much I liked them, I ordered the purple and I ordered the Aqua, or Lilac. And I still have quite a few of them left because I just got them. But I am now hooked on these, you guys. They are awesome. And the place that I used them was on the bottom. They have little feet. And so I just used, you know, the appropriate color. Like this one has little purple feet on it. And this just has the ivory feet on it. And then the filigrees that I used are these little flower filigrees. I really like these. I'm almost out of them too. You get 10 of them. They're antique gold, and I have 3 left. But I painted each one of them the corresponding color, and then just put that down. And one thing I like about them is they bend really easy, and so I just bent it around the shape of the jar. And then I used the same paint that I painted this, you know, each jar. And in the center, I used this baby pink, two-tone baby pink open rose, and it's 25 millimeter. And I'll have all the product codes in the bottom for you. And like I said, I just put one in the center of each one and painted it with the same color. And I used right here, I used these pink, they're pale pink hip rosebuds. And you get 50 in a pack, and they're just real pretty little rosebuds. And I used 4 of them on each project right here. And like I said, just kind of painted them the same color. And then going out from there, I used, comes 20 in a pack, these Tuscany white rosebuds. And I love these. You get 20, and I've been going through them too. I absolutely love this flower. It's just a great size for a lot of things. So I used those, and then I used one of the crown pins, and I really, really like them. You get 10 in a pack, and I've since ordered, I think, all the colors now. I have some of them, and some of them are in shipment on the way here because I placed another big order the other day. So I think I got the rest of the colors because they're really nice crown pins. You guys, they're so really a nice size, and they're really sharp. I love that about them. And I love that you already start off with basically a pearl and a bead cap. I mean, it's perfect. So you're already off to a good start. And then the next thing I did was I took burlap, and as you can see, I have some burlap right here because the way I have them displayed in my dining room, and you'll see the pictures, which you will have seen already a few before you get to this. I used the same natural color burlap, and I made strips to go around the mason jars. And then I used this lace, which I'm almost out of it. You get 1.1 yards, and they just come in sections of that size. So like if you order 2.2 yards, you're going to get 2 packages of 1.1, just so you know. But they're really nice. It's a real soft, real sweet, nice cotton, and this is a natural cotton. And this project couldn't be more like natural looking, and so with the burlap and twine up here and everything. And so to have this was the perfect kind of lace for this, a natural cotton. It's kind of hard to come by a really nice natural cotton like this, so it's kind of cool that they have it, because a project like this, I don't know what else that you would use that would be appropriate, really, in my opinion, you know, for how I wanted it. And then I took flat back pearls. I'm almost out of these. You get them in 2.2 yards of, you can get off-white, these are 6mm size pearl strands, and I went around. See, here is the burlap, and then there's the cotton lace, which, like I said, is just perfect. And then I trimmed the top edge of the cotton lace with the flat back pearls all the way around, and I just love it. And you can see the sanding in that on the jar and the key and everything, so it turned out, you know, pretty cool. So that's how I used the pearls, and I really am happy with that. And then I used a like a jute twine, and these were keys that were just given to me by Jen in my Happy Mail, Jen H, because I can't say her last name. I just adore her. And this was just in my Happy Mail yesterday, actually, these keys were, and they were perfect for this. So thank you, Jen, because I used 3 of the keys that you gave me already in this project. And I just wrapped the twine around here a few times and then tied them off. I did want to show you another really cool use for these, and there'll be pictures of them. But if you just simply take out, and I'm just going to set this like right here. If you just simply take out the, this just some kind of greenery stuff I got at Michael's, and put little tea lights inside here, you can use them this way, and you get a whole new use out of them. And I'm going to turn off the light, and hopefully you can kind of see how they look. And it's really cool, you know. I'll have some other pictures in that, but you can see through where the sanding was, and they just make a great little night light, like on your dining room table. You know, so one of them is a little weak. It's a little older light. These 2 are brand new, but at least I can kind of show you how it works, and I just love this effect as well. So anyway, then I'm going to let this go now, right from here to the start to finish video, and you can see me create this, and I will also make it, it should be a voiceover. So if you don't hear my voice, you'll hear music. Sometimes I have a little trouble with that. So anyway, thank you for watching, and go out to the Wild Orchid Craft Store, head on over there and pick up some of these great items, because it's an amazing, and it is not just about flowers. That's my big point I want to make, is there's so many other cool things in the store. So the flowers are amazing, but there's also other amazing items out there. So make sure you go through each little heading and look at everything. All right, guys, enjoy the start to finish. Bye. Need to do is to start painting all the glasses with gesso, all of the mason jars. And now I'm painting the inside with a color called Snowflake. It is my chalk acrylic paint, and I paint all the insides with the white snowflake color. And now I'm working on the outside of each one. Each one is a different color, as you already know. This one is Dolly Mix, and I'm getting that painted up. This next one is Mermaid, getting that painted. I have to do the bottoms later because obviously I need to be able to touch them. This is the one where I mix the vintage doily with a little bit of pink acrylic paint, just to give it a little bit of color. And so I'm getting that one all painted up as well. And now I'm going back and just doing the bottoms of the mason jars, so they'll be all one color. Getting that color mixed up again. I just eyeballed it. I literally had no no proportion. I just kind of eyeballed that the color would be the same, and it actually worked out just fine. Now I'm using the keys that I got from Jen the other day in my Happy Mail, and I am making a key for each one in its coordinating color. These keys were just the perfect size. They were absolutely awesome, and so I just made one like that for each color. And you could use something else. I mean, you could make yourself like a little chunky charm to hang on the side. Doesn't have to be a key. If you want to do this, you could easily, do another item and hang it if you would like, or you actually don't have to have anything at all. I'm really not worried about them being perfect too because I'm going to be sanding them. That's the wonderful part of it. Now I'm doing some Tuscany roses, and these are the Tuscany Rosebuds, and I am painting 2 in each of the coordinating colors. So there'll be 2 of the Dolly Mix, 2 Mermaid, and 2 of the others. Now I'm working on my burlap that's going to wrap around the outside of the jar. I work on it here, but I end up making them a little bit more narrow. This is a little bit too wide. But the way that I do it is I pull a string out, and that's where I cut, and then I pull some strings off to have that shredded braid look. I measure them all out. They look good, even though I change them later. Here I am sanding away, and you just want to do some random sanding. If you look at my still shots, you'll see that it's very random. You also want to sand the keys, and you can see there to the left I have the filigrees painted, and I'll be sanding those as well. You just want to have everything look rough. Now here I am making the strips of burlap just a little bit narrower because the mason jars are not great big ones. So I'm gluing them on, and I'm just putting a little bit of glue along the way, not a lot. A little bit does it because you're layering on top of it, so it ends up getting all held down. And here I'm putting my filigree pieces on. And as you can see, I'm just bending them to go with the shape of the jar. And now I'm putting the cotton lace, the natural cotton lace is so pretty, and I'm putting that around the jar. And then also my 6mm flat back pearls. And that really, that gives it such a shabby look. I love the way that looks. Kind of tucking those in there. And I do that for each jar. And then here I'm putting my 16mm half flat back pearls on the bottom for feet. I'm using a little E6000 and a little hot glue for immediate adhesion. And then, like I said, the E6000 will set up and hold it real well. Here I'm putting a 25mm open rose on the center, and I'll paint that later. Now I'm putting jute around the top of the jar to hang the key. And now I'm adding my Tuscany roses that I had painted, and I curled the stem around an orange stick first. And one stem I have go around the bottom, and one stem I have go around. See, I wrapped it around the stick there. And then one I have go up over the top of the open rose. As you can see, the open rose is not the right color yet. And here I am painting one with the mermaid. I'm just kind of touching up my Tuscany roses there. Now I'm getting out some hip roses, and I decide to paint 4 for each mason jar. So I'm going to paint 4 of each color and let them dry. Now I'm making what is going to be my little, kind of a little mat for my mason jars to sit on my dining room table. So I didn't have anything really that was a good size, so I just took some burlap cloth that I had in my stash, and I'm using my little craft iron, and I'm going to spray it with a little water so that it will get the wrinkles out because they're pretty permanent. And I'm going to iron that all out so it's nice and smooth, and I'll be able to set my mason jars on it. I had so much fun doing this project, you guys. This is something I would encourage all of you to try. It's easy. It's like super fun to do. And now I have a really nice mat that I'll be able to sit those on in my dining room. Now I'm adding the 4 little flowers. These are the little hip rosebuds, and I'm just adhering them right next to the open rose, and I do that for each one. And now I've gotten out some picks that I got at Michael's. They're great. They're just kind of real nature looking, and I'm just kind of evenly distributing them between each of the mason jars. And then this project will be done, and I hope you guys enjoyed it very much.